queens hate their men and the order they bring. Interesting. Feel free to elaborate in the comments, my man. And since we're almost halfway through, I'm going to remind everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time tuned in, you are tuned in to Not Without Alonzo. That is Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. Please hit that subscribe button if you like what you hear. Let's continue, Lonzo. I love hearing those stories, man. Speaking of times being different and things that we don't see today, things that you've seen as a kid that we may not have seen or, you know, only seen in movies. But talk to us about how like downtown and like different parts of the area were back in the day, specifically when it comes to like 25-cent PEEP shows and how there was just a little bit more of a SEEDY part, you know what I'm saying? The Pike, you know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Give us some of those old school stories, man.
Man, downtown, all downtown LA, but not all, but most of downtown LA, the theaters that people go to now that are now clubs, a lot of them were PEEP shows. Okay, in Inglewood, California, right now on Market Street in Inglewood, California, there's a theater called the Miracle Theater. Okay, used to be a Pussycat Theater. Ask me how I know. I went to the motherfucker. Okay. I went to it when it was Pussycat Theater, okay, and hung out. Okay, me and my girl went there one night kicking it. I ain't never felt like I felt like I was wearing a meat suit. She was wearing one too. I was scared for her because it was like, huh? People didn't do that back then. Me and my girl hanging out. Let's go to the porno to the X-rated show. Okay, let's go. Man, walking there, cats in trench coats and shit. And man, folks looking around. And a woman in it, what? No men. I ain't see no men. No women. I ain't see no women but her. We stood there for a few minutes and we got the fuck up out of there. It did not. The vibe was freaky as shit, and that was a different time, dude. Downtown LA, we would ditch school in 11th grade, 10th, 11th grade, and catch the bus downtown LA. Or my buddies may have a car ride down downtown LA. And for $1, you can watch movies all day long. All day. Don't eat no popcorn. Don't fuck with that shit. Okay, that shit ain't right. But we go down, we do that, man. We can do that. They'd have 3 or 4 movies, I mean, right next to each other. A lot of the theaters that you're seeing right now that have been converted to banquet halls or nightclubs or whatever, where a lot of them were porno, were X-rated theaters. And that was something they did, man. It was just, wasn't no VHS yet. You had to actually go to a theater and to see shit like Deep Throat. I saw Deep Throat before I saw Superfly.
Nice.
I saw Deep Throat before I saw Superfly. Okay, and those guys, like the swap meets, they just wanted your money. They didn't care. They was already, you know. It was already some seedy shit, so they didn't care. At the Pike, same thing, okay? Well, the Pike was a little bit different because the Pike had a lot of military folks come through there, and you had to sneak to get past the Pike. If somebody could distract the guy in the little booth, because they'd have the change booth right by the entrance to the little black room, okay? And if he got busy fucking with somebody's machine or something like that, or doing something, he slide up in there, and if he caught you, he'd tell you to leave. That's what most people do. Sometimes if you got one of them cats with no teeth, he wouldn't trip on you. He'd just let you stay back there. And boy, I mean, I never forget. Back then, man, getting your knob polished was like a dream. It was like a fucking dream. Oh, look what she did. And you never, every time it got to the good part, the goddamn machine cut off. Every damn time. They had that shit timed to a science. You couldn't find money. You couldn't find a quarter fast enough, man. We must have fed about $10 worth of quarters of them damn things. Just as kids, man. I mean, just crazy ass 16, 17-year-old folks, man, that, you know, were 16-year-olds. We was getting busy, but we wasn't getting busy like that. Okay? Oh man, because back in the day, that them BJs they was rare as shit. they was not common practice. Trust me.
Damn, dude. They're naming all kind of people in the chat room. That's taking me back to my childhood, man. Vanessa Del Rio. They're saying Debbie Does Dallas. All that.
Look.
Dang, dude. Hey, okay. So all right. Talk to me about walking into one of those. I guess I'll call them a seedy theater, porn theater, whatever they want to call them. What was it like? Did they have a big in the front? They had the big Debbie Does Dallas showing at
it was like
6
any
p.m.
other theater,
and everybody
man.
just shows up. Like,
it was a little emptier though. It was a little bit emptier. Everybody was spaced out. A lot of cats in long coats. A lot of cats humped over, looking real funny and shit. I'm not bullshitting. They be humped over, looking real funny, and you hear a lot of smacking. Oh yeah, it was a lot of smacking going off, man. It just was a crazy shit. And as a kid, we wasn't doing no smacking. We just wanted to go to the movies to see the titties. That's all we came to see, the titties and the sex. We wasn't trying to do no workout, but everybody else was. That at that time, that was the workout room. That's real talk, Doc. Real talk.
Damn. Love those stories, man. D'Angelo Hayes says, greetings from Detroit. Speaking of Superfly, which movie do you think had the better soundtrack, The Mac or Superfly?
I'm going to have to say Superfly, because Superfly changed my life, dude. I saw The Mac. I liked The Mac. But the Superfly soundtrack changed my life long before I saw the movie, dude. The soundtrack and the album cover changed my life long before I saw the movie. That's no bullshit.
That was a fly ass soundtrack, dude.
Come on, man. Curtis.
Did you buy was it like that back then?
What?
Was it like that back then where the movie came out and the soundtrack came out synonymous or at the same time, or how did that work back then?
It was just starting to happen in the 70s, man. Curtis Mayfield, I think he might have been one of the first cats that went from being a revolutionary to being I guess a kind of a drug music producer. Okay, Curtis Mayfield was the guy of the 70s. Him and the Impressions, they were the guys of the 70s. If you go to YouTube, everything they was doing was black uplifted people, get ready to the train are coming, talking about women, uplifted women. And when Superfly came out, he was a man. He was like the producer of that era, and they got him to do Superfly. And two things changed: the music changed and the streets changed. That's why I'm telling you, I'm a victim, a spectator, and a living experiment of how music affects people's lives, dude. Because up until then, I was